Today, I want to show you how to bake a bread that is not only delicious, but it fits into any schedule. We will be using the overnight cold fermentation. The slow process will remove any yeast aroma, will develop the deep flavor, and give you a bakery-like loaf at home. Add water and yeast into a bowl, followed by a flour, and mix it slowly, allowing the flour to absorb all moisture before adding the salt. Once no visible clumps appear in the dough, add the salt and continue mixing for about 7 to 8 minutes. The sign that you should be looking for is that the dough sticks to the bottom but pulls away from the sides. The end result of this mix is soft and sticky dough. Cover with a lid or plastic wrap and move into a fridge for at least 8 hours. This is my dough the next day. It should rise just slightly. And I'm also baking 2 batches today. One spent 1 night in the fridge, followed by 2 nights in the fridge to develop a deeper aroma and flavor. Once the dough is out of the fridge, it needs to warm up for at least 2-3 hours. And by the end, it should double in size. Here are a few very handy tools I'm using for shaping such doughs. One of them is plastic dough scraper, and another one is super handy tea infuser, which works as a magic tool when sprinkling the flour. I'm also using bread cloth, but you can replace it by kitchen towels. Make sure to sprinkle the flour over kitchen towel very generously to avoid any dough sticking. Here's my first batch that spent 2 nights in the fridge. As you can see, it doubled and looks bubbly and nice. And now I'm moving to the actual shaping process. Here, one very important tip is to be very gentle with the dough. We want to keep all that air inside the dough. That's what gives the bread its light and open structure. This dough is incredibly versatile. It can be shaped in any different forms, depending on what you want to bake. Today I'm going with ciabatta style, which creates a beautifully rustic open crumb loaf with a light and airy texture. You could also shape it into round balls, classic baguettes, or smaller rolls. The possibilities are endless. Watch the shaping steps here. This is it. I shaped both batches into rectangles, and now I'm letting them to rest for about an hour to let the dough rise before we move into final shaping. Once the shaping is done, I'm sprinkling more flour over the dough to avoid any sticking and covering the dough to let it rise for about 30 minutes before we move into baking. And while the dough is resting, preheat your oven to the maximum setting. Mine is 250 Celsius, which is 500 Fahrenheit. Move each piece into a parchment paper, then gently round them using dough scraper. This technique helps create nicely shaped loaves with a smooth surface while keeping the dough airy inside. Carefully transfer the loaves into a preheated oven and create a steam to get crisp crust. I am using a preheated cast iron pan and adding ice for steam. Bake for about 25-30 minutes until the loaves are golden. And this is our slow fermented, deeply aromatic, beautifully simple bread. Minimal ingredients, maximum flavor, zero stress in your schedule. If you try it, tag me, I want to see your result. Hit subscribe and let's bake more delicious bread together.